There are certain films that stick with you long after the end credits roll. Sometimes it can be for the wrong reasons, but generally the films that stick with me are the good ones. The films that impact you in some way. Films that change the way you think about something or influence you. It was the year 2000 and I had gone to university to study film production, and to be honest, I was feeling like I'd made a mistake. Racking up a ton of debt, attending useless classes, and generally wasting my days playing Metal Gear Solid 2. It didn't feel like I was on the right path at the time. Then, one day at uni, someone recommended a film to me. A moment that, looking back, changed my own creative path. That film was Battle Royale. Now, I won't go into heavy spoilers in this video, but I'll give a brief outline of the film setup, the reasons why I think it's an all-time classic, and talk about some of Battle Royale's wider influence in the 24 years since its release. Then you can go watch or re-watch it and see for yourself. So we start our story with a bunch of high school kids on a bus for a field trip. Like all high school classes, we have a mixture of personalities. Some kids are messing around, others keeping themselves to themselves, and some even daring to try and talk to their crushes. But here is where the normal high school part of this story ends. Before they know it, the bus has been gassed and the unconscious students are taken to a deserted island. As they wake up, they discover metal collars around their necks and are informed that they are the latest class who have been selected to take part in Battle Royale, a new government act brought in to try and stop the collapse of society and keep the younger generation in line. And here is where the madness begins. 40 students on an island. Kill or be killed. There can only be one survivor. Surely the kids won't want to participate, you might say. Well, that metal collar will help them out with that. Break the rules, collar goes boom. Try to escape, collar goes boom. At the end of the 3 days, if more than one student remains, you guessed it, collars go boom. What follows is a breathtaking, violent, ridiculous, heartwarming, gut-wrenching, funny, tragic tale. A film that on one level is an action-packed thrill ride, and on another is a brilliant satire or commentary on society, authority, politics, the Japanese school system, the friction between older generations and the new, the true meaning of friendship, and loads more. The film is a pure roller coaster, and after watching it far too many times, I have to say that with each watch, I feel something different each time. The cast are great, some play their roles with subtlety, others are just so over the top that it borders on comedic. Even in the midst of the madness, we have our noble hero and our psychotic villain. We have people to root for and against. The script is powerful and hilarious. The death scenes are sometimes touching, sometimes straight up ridiculous. The soundtrack is mental and totally works. The cinematography is fantastic. I won't spoil the ending or any specific character story, but rest assured, the ride is worth it. So why is this film important? Well, at the time, Battle Royale truly shocked the world and still influences the creative industry to this very day. It was banned in America and pretty hard to get hold of in other places. In 2009, Quentin Tarantino said Battle Royale was his favourite film of the last 20 years. He said, "If there's any movie that's been made since I've been making movies that I wish I had made, it's that one." You can actually really see the influence in Kill Bill. Before Chaiki Kuriyama was Go-Go, She was Chigusa. Ever played Fortnite Battle Royale? Now you know where their name comes from. Countless video games, books, films, anime, manga, TV shows have taken at least some element or inspiration from this film. In terms of my own creative journey, Battle Royale really started to open my mind to Japanese cinema and how films do not necessarily have to follow the same formula we have here in the West. It made me fall back in love with film at a moment I was doubting my choices and passion for telling stories. I mean, I even have one of the best characters in Battle Royale tattooed on my hand. When I talk to my peers and friends in the industry, Battle Royale is one of those films that immediately draws a smile and a "my favourite scene is" type response. So for me and my generation, Battle Royale is a big deal. A piece of work that made a massive impact and has stood the test of time. I see a question frequently asked online: why hasn't Hollywood remade it? Especially now when we seem to be bombarded with terrible remakes of legendary work. Well, there are probably a number of different answers to that question, including the fact that around the time the film came out, the landscape in America was different, as the Columbine High School massacre had just taken place. Also, the authority versus youth dynamic in Battle Royale would probably not have had the same resonance in the West as it did in Japan at the time. Years later, the release of The Hunger Games probably paused anyone working on a Battle Royale remake, as those books and films have a number of similarities, let's say, both in terms of story and themes. So luckily, no one has tainted the legacy of this film by making a crap 2024 Hollywood version yet, and I hope they never do. This film should be left as it is, a cult classic that inspired filmmakers, shocked audiences, and made me love film again. If you like this video, leave a like, and if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the flip.